Hi, and welcome again to another edition of Market Analysis for today, December 13th. I'm Giovanni Benacourt, analyst, trader, and operator with Vantage Markets. All right, well, economists broadly expect this year's final consumer price index reading to show inflation easing, but nonetheless running at triple what it was before the pandemic, about 7.3 year over year. Remember, inflation accelerated to a four-decade high of 9.1% back in June, and most recently clocked in at 7.7% in October. Now, that said, policymakers are expected to announce a 50 basis point rate hike tomorrow, regardless of the reading, which will be the fifth outsized hike in a row. Now, by the way, Bahamian authorities arrested ex-FTC CEO Sam Bankman-Fried last night at the request of the U.S. government. Now, hours after his arrest, the SEC announced it will file separate charges against SBF relating to violations of securities laws. This is a developing story. Now, let's talk about China and oil, shall we? Now, President Xi Jinping is pushing to buy oil using yuan, a move that threatens to raise global energy trade and hit at the long-standing dominance of the U.S. dollar. At a summit with Arab leaders on Friday, Xi said China will continue to import large volumes of energy supplies from Gulf states and settle payments using its own currency. The Shanghai Petroleum and Natural Gas Exchange platform will be fully utilized for RBM settlement in oil and gas trade, Xi said, and this is according to a transcript of his speech published by the state-run China Daily. While the president didn't specify when the change will go into effect and whether Gulf nations will take up the proposal, it's been reported that Saudi Arabia, the world's top oil exporter, has already been in talks for months to trade oil in yuan with China. As things stand, roughly 80% of global oil sales are done in dollars, and Saudi Arabia has inked deals exclusively in the greenback since 1974. Now, should the Saudi yuan deal crystallize, it will bolster China's currency at the expense of the dollar, as well as reinforce Beijing's status as a critical player in global financial markets. But it's hard to talk about China's role in oil markets without noting to their extensive zero-COVID policies, which have crimped global oil demand since 2020. Currently, the international benchmark for crude is hovering around $77 a barrel. But a fully reopened China could push prices above $100 a barrel next year, according to UBS. Easing pandemic measures in China, combined with Europe's ban on Russian oil imports, which came into effect last week, will stoke demand and stifle supply, meaning prices will go up. Now, Chinese oil demand has been bottled up for 3 years now, and China has a huge multiplier effect on the region. China reopening will be very, very bullish for oil markets. Now, again, not expecting that to be overnight, but over the course of the next year. This is going to be probably the single biggest driver of oil prices. So stay tuned for that. So let's take a look at what the markets will do. One note on that is that obviously the dollar will be hit. There will be pressure on the dollar. And if after today's reading, if it comes out very dovish and lower than expected, then the dollar will definitely move lower. So let's take a look at what the markets are looking to do. I have my resistance right around 12,000. It has broken the 11,800 that we had previously. I'm using my pivot point as to the where the market could be obviously be heading towards if it does rebounds and trades lower, but a better reading than expected. We could probably see that if we have a reading right around the let's say for example the 7.2, 7.4% reading, we could probably see a 2 to a 3% spike in the S&P 500 and other indices. So let's take a look at the S&P 500. So that being said, the S&P 500 is pushing higher. I will expect if the reading comes to come in lower, to come in nice, to hit the 4,100 marker and perhaps even higher. RSI has plenty of room for that. Crude oil is looking to come back above the where it started the year. So it'll be nice. So it'll be. Let's see what will happen if crude oil actually does finishes the year above or at where it began the year. Let's see. Let's take a look at Nat Gas. Nat Gas is pushing higher. That 680 marker, $7 marker actually is where we probably find that resistance. The other side just on a nice 45 angle to the upside. Let's take a look at the a dollar at the gold. Now, gold is one of the assets that receives a whole lot of volatility right when the number comes out. If that number comes out lower than expected, as we are hinting, then we probably see a parabolic movement on gold. Okay, so stay tuned for that. What could be that case? So if the number the CPI comes out lower, then the dollar will take a hit, and gold will spike, make a parabolic movement to the upside. Okay. Otherwise, if it comes harder than expected, then obviously the dollar will get stronger, and then gold will make a parabolic move to the downside. That's the scenario so far. Next, as far as silver goes, silver is also in a nice is up this trend line with the moving average, 21 moving average, or the 21-day moving average is on a 45-degree angle. So we could probably continue to move. I'm not be on the side of the upside. As far as copper goes, copper, I'm also looking at it for copper to revisit that high. So long. The news on Bitcoin after the news of Mr. Sam being arrested, it received as positive news, and it came out of this consolidation stage, ranging, ladder of movement, and it made a breakout to the upside. Will the rally continue to bring it to 18,000? Let's see. And then we have the euro. So if dollar gets hit by a better than expected CPI number, we could probably see obviously euro move to the upside as well as the pound. And then we have here the obviously Mr. Dollar Index. So if the if the CPI comes out better than expected, 7.2, 7.4, or 7%, then we could probably see dollar, hitting that 104 support level. There could probably be a lot of stops around here, and if they're taken out, it could continue just to move down towards 103. So that will be a lot of volatility in the markets. Well, let's stay tuned. In about 2 minutes, this will happen. So let's see what will happen. Have a nice day.